Roman Reigns just looked John Cena dead in the eyes and said 5 words that shook the wrestling world to its core: "I'm taking my titles." The tribal chief versus the greatest of all time. The stakes? Legendary. The tension? Nuclear. This is about to get real, and you need to hear what went down. What's going on, Suplex Rumble family? Welcome back to the channel where we bring you the most in-depth breakdowns, the hottest takes, and the analysis that keeps you ahead of the wrestling conversation. If you're new to the family, hit that subscribe button right now and smash that notification bell because we're about to dive deep into one of the most intense confrontations in recent wrestling history. Roman Reigns and John Cena. Two names that define generations of wrestling. And when the tribal chief tells the franchise player that he's taking his titles, we need to unpack everything. The history, the psychology, the implications, and what this means for the future of professional wrestling. So buckle up, because this is going to be epic. Before we break down what Roman Reigns said and why it matters so much, we need to understand the monumental history between these two icons. John Cena, the face that runs the place. The man who carried professional wrestling on his shoulders for over a decade. 16-time world champion, a number that ties him with the legendary Ric Flair. Cena isn't just a wrestler, he's a cultural phenomenon. He's main event the biggest shows, broken merchandise records, granted wishes for Make-A-Wish, and became a Hollywood superstar. When people think of modern wrestling, John Cena's name is at the top of that list. But here's the thing about legends: eventually, they step aside. Cena's been balancing his wrestling career with his Hollywood commitments for years now. His appearances have become special events. When John Cena shows up, it means something. The crowd erupts, the energy changes, and everyone knows something big is about to happen. Now, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table. A man who has undergone one of the most incredible character transformations in wrestling history. We watched Roman evolve from the Shield's powerhouse, through years of mixed reactions, to becoming the most dominant, most compelling champion of this era. His reign at the top hasn't just been long, it's been legendary. Roman's championship runs have redefined what it means to be a world champion in the modern era. He doesn't just win matches, he dominates. He doesn't just hold titles, he elevates them. The tribal chief has systematically dismantled every challenger, conquered every legend who dared step up, and built an empire around his championship reign. But here's where it gets fascinating. Roman Reigns has always had something to prove when it comes to John Cena. See, when Roman was being positioned as the next top star years ago, the comparisons to Cena were constant. The company wanted Roman to be the next Cena, the next face of the company, the next merchandise king, the next hero for the kids. And the fans rejected it. They chanted for Cena when Roman was in the ring. They booed Roman while cheering for everyone else. It was a struggle that lasted years. But Roman didn't give up. He evolved. He embraced a different path. He became the tribal chief, and in doing so, he created something arguably more impactful than what Cena ever was. So when these two men stand face to face, it's not just about current championships. It's about legacy. It's about who's the greatest. It's about Roman proving that he didn't just follow in Cena's footsteps, he blazed his own path and surpassed everything that came before. Now let's get into the moment itself. The confrontation that has everyone talking. Picture this: John Cena returns, and the wrestling world is buzzing. Cena's appearances are rare now, so when he shows up, speculation runs wild. Is he challenging for a title? Is he chasing that record-breaking 17th championship? Is he here to pass the torch, or is he here to prove he's still the man? And then Roman Reigns enters the equation. The tribal chief doesn't just acknowledge Cena's presence, he confronts it. This isn't a respectful handshake between legends. This is the current face of wrestling standing toe-to-toe with the former face of wrestling, and the tension is thick. Roman's demeanor during this confrontation is crucial to understand. He's not the respectful challenger. He's not asking for Cena's approval. The tribal chief stands there with the confidence of a man who knows he's at the peak of his powers. His body language, his tone, everything about Roman screams dominance. And then he says it. When the conversation turns to championships, to records, to legacy, Roman Reigns delivers the line that cuts through everything: "I'm taking my titles." Not the titles. Not those titles. My titles. Ownership. Possession. Roman is claiming that any championship Cena holds, any record Cena has, any legacy Cena built, it all belongs to Roman now. He's not asking permission. He's not making a challenge. He's making a statement of fact. The psychology here is brilliant. Roman's not trying to earn Cena's respect. He's past that. The tribal chief has evolved beyond needing validation from the previous generation. He's telling Cena, and by extension, telling the entire wrestling world, that everything Cena accomplished, Roman has either matched or surpassed. Think about the deeper meaning of those words. My title suggests that Roman views himself as the rightful owner of any accolade Cena possesses. It's like he's saying that Cena was simply holding them temporarily until the true tribal chief came to claim what was always meant to be his. John Cena's reaction to this statement is equally important. Cena's been in countless confrontations over his career. He's faced down the most dangerous competitors in wrestling history. But this is different. Roman isn't just another challenger, he's the man who's currently on top, the man who's been unstoppable, the man who might actually be better than Cena ever was. You can see the calculation happening in Cena's eyes. He's assessing whether Roman's confidence is justified. He's wondering if the torch has truly been passed or taken without his consent. He's realizing that this isn't 2015 Roman Reigns who needed his approval. This is 2024 Roman Reigns who's beyond that conversation entirely. The verbal exchange that follows is electric. Cena fires back, because that's what legends do. He references his 16 world championships, his unparalleled longevity, his impact on the business. He reminds Roman and everyone watching that respect is earned, not claimed. But Roman doesn't back down. In fact, he leans in. The tribal chief counters every point. He talks about the length and dominance of his championship reigns. He mentions how he's conquered every single person put in front of him. He asks Cena point blank, what has Cena done that Roman hasn't done better? And that's the question that hangs in the air like a thundercloud. Because as much as we love John Cena, as much as we respect his legacy, there's a legitimate argument to be made that Roman Reigns' current run has been more dominant, more impactful, and more defining than anything we saw during Cena's peak. The confrontation ends not with a resolution, but with an escalation. Both men stand their ground. Neither backs down. The message is clear, this isn't over. This is just beginning. Let's talk about what taking the titles actually means in the context of this rivalry, because it's deeper than just physical championships. On one level, Roman could be talking about literally defeating John Cena for a championship. If Cena were to win a title and become a 17-time world champion, breaking Ric Flair's record, Roman's statement becomes a declaration he would be the one to take it away. He would prevent Cena from holding that record for long. He would prove that Cena's 17th reign is nothing but a footnote compared to Roman's era of dominance. But on another level, and this is where it gets really interesting, Roman might be talking about something more abstract. He might be talking about taking Cena's legacy, taking the mantle of greatest of this generation, taking the position of the face of professional wrestling, taking the recognition that Cena has enjoyed for so many years. See, championships are physical objects. They get won and lost. But legacy? That's permanent. That's what gets remembered. That's what defines careers forever. Roman Reigns is essentially saying that he's not just better than John Cena in the ring, he's replaced John Cena in the hierarchy of wrestling history. Where Cena was once the definitive star of his era, Roman is now the definitive star of this era. And Roman's argument is that his era has been more impressive. Let's look at the facts to support both sides. John Cena's case for being the greatest, 16 world championships across multiple promotions. Main event more major events than almost anyone in history. Transcended wrestling to become a mainstream celebrity. Had legendary matches against practically everyone of his generation. Was the face of wrestling during a crucial transitional period. Balanced being a role model while being an incredible performer. His never give up mentality inspired millions. That's an incredible resume. That's a Hall of Fame career 10 times over. But now Roman Reigns' counterargument held world championships for years, not just months. Never lost clean during his historic title reign. Conquered and defeated legends including Cena himself. Main event consecutive events with sustained dominance. Created one of the most compelling character evolutions ever. Drew massive ratings and revenue during his championship run. Built an entire faction and family legacy around his reign. Overcame real-life adversity to reach the top. The difference? Longevity of championship dominance. Roman's title reigns haven't just been long, they've been historically long. Over 1,000 days as champion. Multiple high-profile defenses. A level of dominance we haven't seen since the territorial era of wrestling, where Cena won and lost championships regularly, keeping the title picture fresh and unpredictable. Roman has held onto power with an iron grip. His argument would be that anyone can win a championship 16 times, but holding it and dominating with it for years? That's a different level entirely. This leads to an interesting philosophical question for wrestling fans: what's more impressive? Winning more championships, or holding fewer championships for longer with more dominance? It's the classic debate of